The text message glowed on my phone screen like a fresh burn. The annual Family Beach Week is for successful children only. Maybe next year if you get a real job. Dad. I leaned back in my private jet's leather seat, somewhere over the Pacific, returning from closing a $500 million real estate deal in Singapore. At 29, I'd built Morgan International Properties into one of the most secretive but powerful real estate empires in the world. Not that my family knew, they still thought I was that weird daughter who did something with houses. The family beach house in the Hamptons. Every summer since I was a kid, we'd gather there, a monument to what my parents considered success. My sister the surgeon. My brother the Wall Street trader. Me. The disappointment who just bought and sold houses. Ms. Morgan, my assistant Sarah appeared with a folder. The coastal acquisition reports you requested. I smiled, taking the documents. Inside were details of my latest project, buying every property along the 3-mile stretch of beach where our family house stood. The locals had been eager to sell to my company's shell corporations. Nobody knew the mysterious buyer was the daughter of Jonathan and Diana Morgan. How much of the coastline do we own now? I asked, though I already knew the answer. As of this morning, every property except the Morgan family beach house, Sarah replied with a knowing smile. Your father's property is the last piece. I checked my watch. 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The annual Family Beach Week would be starting right about now. Mom would be arranging her designer luggage in the master suite. Dad would be mixing his signature martinis on the deck. My siblings would be arriving with their spouses, their achievements ready to be paraded like show ponies. My phone buzzed again. A series of family photos started coming through, everyone gathered at the beach house, champagne flowing, success practically oozing from every pixel. Mom's caption, missing our whole family. Maybe next year you'll have something to celebrate with us. I opened my laptop, pulling up the final document I'd been saving for this moment. One click, and the notification would be sent to every property on the beachfront, including the Morgan family beach house. Sarah, I called out. Is everything in place? She nodded. Security teams are ready. New locks have been installed on all properties. The notice will go out to all residents simultaneously. I looked at another family photo that just came through, Dad proudly standing on his precious deck, probably rehearsing his annual speech about the Morgan legacy of success. Send it, I said. Sarah pressed a button on her tablet. In the Hamptons, 3 miles of beachfront property owners, including my family, would be receiving the same message. Notice of ownership change. This property is now under the management of Morgan International Properties. All current access codes and keys will be deactivated at midnight. New residents must apply for access through the management office. I turned off my phone knowing it would soon be exploding with calls. The jet began its descent into New York. Shall I have the car take you to the Hamptons? Sarah asked. No, I smiled, watching the sunset through the window. Let them stew for a bit. Have security send me the camera feeds. I want to see their faces when those keys stop working. As the plane touched down, I thought about the message that had started it all. This property is for successful children only. Well, Dad, I thought, how successful does someone need to be to own not just the beach house but the entire damn beach? I watched the security feeds from my Manhattan penthouse, sipping an aged whiskey that cost more than my sister's BMW. The scene unfolding on my multiple screens was better than any reality TV show. 10:47 p.m. Dad's first attempt to use his key card at the beach house gate. Denied. 10:48 p.m. Second attempt. Denied. 10:49 p.m. Dad shaking the gate while Mom called the security company. 10:55 p.m. The arrival of my brother James, the brilliant Wall Street trader, demanding to speak to someone in charge. Ma'am, my head of security radioed in, your father is threatening legal action. Your brother is claiming he knows the district attorney. I smiled. Follow protocol. Direct all inquiries to Morgan International's legal department. The cameras showed my sister Charlotte arriving now, her surgeon's confidence wilting as her key card also failed. The entire family was locked out of their precious summer sanctuary, their social status crumbling in front of the neighbors they'd spent years trying to impress. My phone had 47 missed calls. The latest voicemail from Dad played through my speaker. This is outrageous. Do you know who I am? I demand to speak to whoever's in charge of Morgan International immediately. Oh, the irony. I opened my laptop and sent one email. To all Morgan family members. From Morgan International Properties. Subject. Meeting request. Your presence is requested tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp at Morgan International Headquarters, 100th floor Manhattan Tower, to discuss the recent property acquisition. Dress appropriately. Regards. The owner. Within minutes, my sister replied to all. I have surgeries scheduled. Brother, I have trading to do. Mom, this is unacceptable. Dad, we'll be there. And our lawyers will too. I stood by my window looking at the glittering city below. For years, I'd watched them parade their successes while dismissing my work as playing with houses. They had no idea that half the buildings they could see from their own offices belonged to me. Sarah, I called my assistant. Is everything ready for tomorrow? Yes, Ms. Morgan. The conference room is prepared. Security has been briefed. And we've arranged for the family photos to be displayed as requested. Perfect. I turned back to the security feeds. They were all still there, standing in their designer clothes outside the gate, their perfect beach week ruined. Mom was crying. Dad was on the phone with his lawyer. My siblings were frantically Googling Morgan International Properties. Good luck with that, I thought. I'd spent years building this company in secret, using layers of corporations and trusts. The only public photo of the owner was a silhouette in Forbes magazine last month, captioned, "The Real Estate Phantom, the mysterious billionaire transforming coastlines." My phone buzzed with a text from Charlotte. This is your fault somehow, isn't it? Always trying to ruin our family time with your drama. I didn't reply. Instead, I sent another email to the family. Update. Meeting moved to 8 a.m. Don't be late. Asterisk the owner. Dad's response came instantly. How dare you change the time? Do you know who we are? I typed back. Yes. That's precisely why the meeting was moved earlier. Asterisk the owner. Switching off my screens, I headed to my private gym. I needed to work out before tomorrow's performance. It would take energy to maintain composure while revealing to my family that their unsuccessful daughter now owned not just their precious beach house, but every property they could see from its deck. Sarah, I called out before starting my workout. Make sure the conference room temperature is set to slightly too warm tomorrow. And have their chairs set just a little bit lower than mine. After all, they taught me the importance of power moves at all those beach week family dinners. 7:55 a.m. I stood in my private office, adjusting my Valentino suit and watching through one-way glass as my family filed into the conference room. They looked exhausted, probably spent the night at a hotel since their beach house keys didn't work. Not the Hamptons experience they'd planned. Dad paced aggressively, his lawyer whispering strategies in his ear. Mom kept smoothing her hair, a nervous tic from her beauty queen days. Charlotte and James sat stiffly in their deliberately lowered chairs, trying to maintain their dignity. Ms. Morgan, Sarah appeared at my door. Everything is ready. I checked my reflection one last time. Start the presentation. The massive screens in the conference room lit up with images of the Coastline properties, all now belonging to Morgan International. I watched my father's face redden as he recognized each mansion, each private beach. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah's voice came through the speakers, please direct your attention to the screens. A final image appeared, an aerial view of the entire 3-mile stretch, with the Morgan family beach house marked in red. As you can see, Sarah continued, Morgan International now owns and controls all properties in this exclusive coastal area, including, as of midnight last night, access rights to 147 Hampton Shore Drive. Dad jumped up. That's our address. This is theft. Actually, I said, finally entering through the private door, it's business. The room fell silent. Mom's hand flew to her throat. Charlotte dropped her phone. James's mouth hung open. Dad looked like he'd seen a ghost. Emma. Mom whispered. Hello, family. I smiled, taking my seat at the head of the table. Surprised to see me? I thought this meeting was for successful people only. You. Dad sputtered. You're Morgan International? Morgan International Properties, I corrected, is my company. Founded 6 years ago, current valuation $4.8 billion. Though after this morning's Asian market opening, It might be higher. Their lawyer started frantically flipping through his papers. Don't bother, I told him. Every transaction was legal. Every property was properly purchased, including the rights to control access to the family beach house. But you just flip houses, Charlotte stammered. That's what you told us. I laughed. No, that's what you assumed. I told you I was in real estate. You were all too busy bragging about surgeries and stock trades to ask what that actually meant. Why? Mom's voice was barely audible. Why would you do this? I leaned forward. Remember last Christmas, when you said I wasn't welcome because I had nothing to contribute to the family legacy? Or last summer, when you made me eat at the kids' table because I wasn't successful enough for the main dinner? Dad's face had gone from red to white. Emma, we were trying to motivate you. To do what, Dad? Be more like Charlotte with her surgical practice? Or James with his trading desk? Did it ever occur to you that I might have already succeeded beyond anything you could imagine? I pressed a button, and the screens filled with news headlines about Morgan International's acquisitions, philanthropic projects, and global impact. That mysterious real estate mogul you read about in Forbes? The one who bought that Singapore resort last week? The phantom developer transforming coastlines around the world? That's your unsuccessful daughter. The silence was deafening. So here's how this works, I continued. The beach house you love so much. It's still technically yours. But the access roads, the beach rights, the security gates, those belong to me. Just like everything else you can see from your precious deck. What do you want? James asked quietly. Want? I smiled. I want you to understand what real success looks like. It's not about titles or degrees or country club memberships. It's about vision, impact, and yes, power. I stood up, smoothing my suit. You can keep having your family beach weeks. But from now on you'll need my permission to access your own property. Consider it a lesson in humility. You can't do this to your own family, Mom protested. Surely I can. And I did. Just like you could exclude me from family gatherings. Just like you could belittle my career. Just like you could make me feel small year after year. I walked to the door, then turned back. Oh, and Dad? About that text message. I guess I did get a real job after all. The new keys to the beach house will be sent once you all complete something I'm calling the Success Reorientation Program. Sarah will email you the details. As I left, I heard Mom start to cry and Dad trying to call his lawyer. But over it all, I heard Charlotte whisper, "My God, our little sister owns everything." Sometimes success isn't about proving people wrong. Sometimes it's about showing them just how right you've been all along. Sarah, I called out as I walked to my private elevator, make sure they all get a copy of that Forbes article on their way out. The one with my silhouette on the cover. After all, Family Beach Week reading material just got a lot more interesting.